Hey guys, it's Nick with Northwest Open Season, and today I'm going to show you guys a quick and easy way to set up for bobber fishing beads for steelhead. Alright guys, so I'm going to go through this process real quick so there aren't an overwhelming amount of possibilities, so that somebody could just watch this and pick out a few things and just head to the store and buy the least amount of things that you could buy and start steelhead fishing right away. Okay, so first of all, a rod that you'd want for bobber fishing. This rod right here is a Wright & McGill Eagle Claw Essentials IM7. It's a 9-foot, 8 to 12 pound, medium, rated 3/8 to 3/4 ounce. And that's pretty much standard steelhead. If you're going to bobber fish, at least 8.5 feet, all the way up to 10 feet, anything in there will work just fine. Depending on your budget, there's tons of options out there. This particular reel is a Cabela's Salt Striker SS30B size, and that's one of the smaller sizes that they actually have, but it's rated for 260 yards of 8-pound test. And the reason why I buy that size and keep it small is because I'm using braided fishing line, and I can put a lot more braid on there for the line weighting. So the 30-pound braid is about the size of 8-pound test usually. So you can look at that when you buy a reel. Again, you pick something that just works for your budget. I know guys who have fished $14 reels for salmon and caught fish, and I know guys that fish $200 reels and catch fish. Just some will last longer than the others. All right, so for braid, if you want to save some money, I bought this off of Amazon. You can see that it's Dorothy Extreme Braid, 1,000 meters, 30-pound braid, and I think I paid like $35 for this, and it works just fine. For leader, I don't buy the small spools of fluorocarbon leader because they're so expensive. You can pay $15, $17 for just 27 yards. So what I did is I actually bought a whole spool. This was 250 yards of Seagar Red Label 100% fluorocarbon line. I use this for my drift leaders and my bead leaders. It works just fine. And I think I paid like $14 for 250 yards. Okay guys, for bead fishing, just buy black hooks. Don't buy red hooks, don't buy silver hooks. You want the hook to be fairly invisible. This is the kind of hook that I use for bead fishing. Okay, these are owners, they're side drifting hooks. These are size 2. Some guys prefer to fish a little bit smaller, size 4. Either size will work just fine. You're going to use a slip bobber. There's a ton of different styles of these. This is an Aerofloat 1/2 ounce, and this is just a cheap Danielson, maybe a 3/4 ounce or 1 ounce or something. Anything like this will work just fine. Okay, so the way we're going to set this up, guys, first thing you're going to do, these are bobber stops. I prefer to fish these rubber style. All you're going to do, you're going to take the end of your line, you're going to put it through the loop that's on the end of the wire. Okay, so it's just hanging on there. You just slide that rubber stop up onto your line. Okay, that's it. It's right there. So a lot of times, these bobbers, the hole on the top and the bottom is too big for the bobber stop to stop. So there's the bobber stop. See how that bobber slides right over the top? Okay, so what we need to do, we're just going to add a cheap bead. You can buy beads like this. This is nothing special, from like the craft store. Okay, the bead will stop on the bobber stop. So now thread your bobber on right there. Going to put another bead at the bottom. Okay, now you're going to put another bobber stop on. This is a trick that we saw Big Dave do at a seminar, and it makes sense. You're going to thread your line back through there again. Now pull another bobber stop on there. Okay? So now what that does, if you end up hanging up your weight as you're fishing and you break that off, at least now you're going to have a chance of getting your bobber back. It's not guaranteed, but at least you have a chance. Okay? Type of weight you're going to fish. I prefer these inline style weights. This is the kind that's got swivels built into it so it twists. You can also use a regular swivel and just attach a, this is a Dave's tangle free weight, and they work really good too. You just match up the size of your weight to the size of your bobber. So if you bought a 1/2 ounce bobber, fish a 1/2 ounce weight. That's the easiest way to keep it straight. So I'm just going to tie this on with an approved clinch knot. All right. So I have some pre-tied leaders here that I keep in my pips. I have this one labeled 10 pound size 2 bead leaders. Okay, so what you're going to do, guys, you're going to take this bead. This is just a pink size 8 UV bead. I don't even know what brand it was. There's too many brands to keep track of. So you're going to just slide that down on top of your hook. Then you're going to tie your leader to the bottom of your weight. Again, I'm using a improved clinch knot. And check out some of our other videos, you guys. We're going to have some knot tutorials and also how to tie spawn sacks for fishing with your beads. Alright, so now I have my leader attached. Okay, so you're looking at about a, I don't know, 24-inch leader or so. Now you're going to take one of these. It's just a tapered rubber straw, essentially. You're going to push it through the bead like that. You're going to pull it through until it gets tight. Okay. You're going to just trim off the excess. Alright, so now that bead is pegged to my line and it won't move unless I manually move it. Okay, now you want that bead to be pegged about 2 to 3 inches above your hook while you're fishing. And that's all you need to know, guys. You can take this straight to the river and you can start fishing for steelhead today. You just want to look at the river when you start fishing. Start with your bobber stop set pretty shallow, and just keep moving it up about 1 foot at a time. Okay, make a cast. If you see that bobber start dragging in the water, that means you're on the bottom. Reel in real fast, move it back down about another foot until it stops doing that. As soon as you get your bobber to float upright down the river, okay, then you know you're fishing straight below. You're just going to keep fishing it that way. That way, you're fishing a run and your bobber is like this the entire time. You know you're not dragging bottom every once in a while. You make 30 casts through there, and on the 31st cast, that bobber does do something. It goes under, goes cant sideways, you know, does something weird. Guess what? Chances are that's probably a fish. Alright guys, I hope this is helpful. I try to keep it as simple as possible. So now you know exactly what you need to go buy to start bobber fishing for steelhead right away. Alright, enjoy guys, and go out there and catch some fish. Take care.